Hello and welcome. This is Chrisanne. I'm coming at you from Elemental Energies with Chrisanne. Once again, we're out on my deck, which is where I love to be. I had a thought. I know. Exciting as it is. If you saw video 1 where I made these cute little earrings out of cards, it's a robot's, well, here it is. It's a robot's old maid playing card game. So I cut them up, turned them into earrings, and I said, I'm not sure I'm gonna do the coating on them. Yeah, I'm gonna do the coating on them. So I took them all apart, most of them. Some of them I've been testing them. And I'm happy with the coating. You can see there's a nice little glaze on top. And I wanted to show you my techniques for doing this glaze. So what I'm doing is I'm using the Mod Podge Dimensional Magic. Now I've mentioned in a couple of the videos, I did find this on Amazon. Now I decided to do a video because I have found, just in my short time of using this, creating a whole bunch of earrings here. I think I've made 5 pairs using this on it so far, but I've made a lot more than 5 pairs. I have found that there's a couple techniques different than some of the other dimensional things that we used to use 20, 30 years ago. Comparable, but a little bit of a technique. So I thought I'd do a video on it. So it's kind of a part 2. Kind of is, kind of isn't. So my trick is always have a something that you're putting your jewelry pieces on. In this case, I am using one of the cards, the instructional card that came with this. Because if I need to pick this up and move it, it is so much easier to do that when it's on a something. You can do a card, you can do a piece of paper, you can do an old packaging, book page, I don't care what you use. I mean, you can even use, I have the packaging here from the Mod Podge Dimensional Magic. I mean, I could even use that. It's not exactly flat, but you know what? We're gonna use that, it's bigger. The reason you need to have something under it also, not just because you need the portability of it to move it, you need to wipe this off onto something. See how many times? I don't know if you can see it. I have wiped this off onto this card, and also sometimes some of it leaks out. You want to have a something underneath so that it's not going to ruin your surface, okay? So those are my reasonings. Okay, these all have that dimensional magic on it. Now, I do have a little mistake one over here, and I'll probably keep that one for me. I was in the middle of cooking, came out here, figured, let me get a pair of these done. Yeah, there's a couple air bubbles in it, and I can see them. I don't know if you can see them, but it's there, there, and there. A little bit here. I tried to get most of them out, but I could smell the food needed me more than this needed me. So I went running. It was one of those things. I was trying to do too many things at once, as we do. So I figured, let me do a video and I'm going to show you. So for this, never shake it. Never, ever, ever. Because you're going to put air bubbles in it. Now I have made, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I've made 5 pairs of earrings so far, and I have used the bottle up to this line. Now I have another new one here. So I'm going to open this one so we can see how much came in the bottle to begin with. Okay, here we go. the turkeys are over here and they're flying all over the place and they're walking through. So if you hear a bunch of noise, it's the turkeys. Okay, so on this one, I know you can't see it yet, but the line is to here. And on this one, the line is to here. So I really haven't used that much. This one, the line, when it was straight up, actually, hold on. No, the line is above the label. This one, the line is below the label. So that's how much I've used. I haven't used much, is my point. Okay, so because I don't shake it, I roll it. And I am mixing up all this stuff. You can see there's a lot of stuff that sort of settles to the bottom. So I roll it, angling it that way. I roll it, angling it that way. I gently. I know some people like to store these upside down. That is a really good idea because it saves you on the air bubbles. Okay, I'm gonna hold it upside down. Every time before I touch my piece, I need to wipe it off on my whatever my scrap paper is. Every single time. The second I take this nozzle off of this, it creates an air bubble. This is plentiful with air bubbles. I couldn't believe how many air bubbles were in it. So here, I'm removing that first bit off of there, and I am coming over here. I am not squeezing this. I am letting it flow. And I'm leaving a little bit of a line around the edge. Working my way up here. I want to come around the hole that I have punched out. And now I'm slowly filling it in and making sure. I'm going to hold this with my fingernail. Oop, I lifted it up. Hold on. Once you lift it up, I'm telling you, I'm giving it a light squeeze. The air bubbles are plentiful. And you know, I'm mixing in the new stuff I'm putting down here with the stuff that I already had to begin with along that edge. I am making sure I'm not leaving any of these little spots without this dimensional magic on it. I'm not squeezing it. I'm blending it. Actually, that's probably a better word. Okay? There. Can you see the difference? No, you probably can't. You kind of can, but you kind of can't. I do a very thin line around the top of that hole that I punched. And I make sure I have all of that filled in. And I'm like looking at different angles to make sure I filled some in. I had another one that I didn't fill every little spot in and it dried funny. Okay, let's do the next one. See, I've got my bottle upright. I'm gonna put that there and I'm gonna put this one here. Got my bottle upright. I'm gonna tip it upside down. It starts to drip out. I wipe that off. I'm not even squeezing it. I'm just laying down a row all around the edge. Doing a little bit at the top here, coming around below that little hole. Now I'm going to give it a little bit more of a squeeze. Kind of pushing it around. I think I see an air bubble. Let me wipe this off again. trees are swaying and they're making noise over there. So if you're hearing it, that's the trees. I almost lifted that completely off and I didn't. So let's come through, and I'm not squeezing. I'm just blending and making sure I didn't miss anything. I'm going to remove this. Now I thought I saw an air bubble. Let me put this over here. And I am going to look at multiple angles. I don't see any air bubbles, but unfortunately, sometimes they come to the surface as things dry. When you're working with resin, you take like a lighter or something and you go over it and that brings the air bubbles up. I don't believe that to be the case with this product. I know you do let it cure 24 hours overnight, but I have to tell you, I've done these not even a couple hours ago, and I mean, look at how beautiful that is. I am not going to do the back. I am only going to do the front. And this one, this is the one, the other one has the air bubble. This one, I should never have done it because I was just rushing. I had stuff cooking. It was a disaster. I'll keep that set for myself. These, I'm very happy with these. Let me put these on here. Put these on here. I'm going to pop this right over here, making sure it's a relatively flat surface. Sometimes that's easier said than done. Let me put it on something that might be flatter. There we go. Okay, let's do some more. I like to do them in pairs. I don't know. It's something psychological with me. And like I said, I went through and I took all the jewelry findings off. So I have a big pile over here of the findings. I'm not going to put those back on until tomorrow. And I'm going to let these dry, like not touching each other. And you can kind of see that. They're kind of touching each other right now. But I have them kind of spread out over here. I've got my camera really nice and close, so you're not seeing a bigger picture right now. You're only seeing like the more close up because it's more important that you see the close up. Let's do some more. Now, to get the air bubbles out, I have my tools here, my scissors and stuff. Should you have like a toothpick or something like that? Yes, you should. I just don't have anything like that. I mean, let me grab my bag here. I do have this little picky tool that I use for my glue half the time. Yeah, keep that at the ready. Let me clean off some of the glue. This is one of those weeding tools for vinyl. Okay, so let's give this a little bit of a twist again. Just a gentle little spin. You can see some of that stuff is stuck here, and I don't want that stuck there. So I kind of gently tip. This is why people leave them upside down in a bucket. But in a cup. I have done that in the past, and some of the stuff has all come out and made a mess. So I don't do that anymore, unless it's just before I'm going to be using it. You can see it's starting to come out right now. I'm going to wipe that off. There's always an air bubble in that. I didn't wipe these off. Hold on. I'm going to wipe that off again. It seems a little wasteful to keep wiping that little thing off, but you know what? I'd rather that than air bubbles. I'm going to go around that little punched out hole. I'm going to give it a little bit more of a squeeze as I create. Whoops, I lifted it up. Let me wipe that off. As I create a nice little bead all around the outside. Oops, I lifted it off again. Let me fill this in with what's here. Now I'm giving it a little bit of a press. See, I lifted it up. There's an air bubble. Okay. Now, just so you can see it, there's an air bubble here and there's an air bubble here. There might be another one in there. Can you see that? Okay. Either way. I bring it as much to the edge as I can. And then this one, sometimes I just try and lift them up. They don't always lift up. I have found truly bringing them to the edge and scraping it off works best. But you have to move this. See, there's two of them right there. There. If I need to pick this up and wipe off the bottom, I can. I think there's another one right here. There is. It was kind of on the bottom. There's still one right here. The bottom is fine. I don't know if that's, no, that's not an air bubble. There. Put this over there to dry. I'm going to wipe this off because I don't want the air bubble left on this. This is a hot mess already. Now, let's do another one. So let's wipe off the tip, first of all, because that's now a hot mess over here. Let that flow out, take that off, come over here, go around that punched out area. Come all around. And now I'm going to fill in. I am gently pressing, squeezing the bottle. I mean, this takes patience. There's no two ways about it. It takes decent eyesight. Some days I have better than others. Although I just had my eyes looked at and they came out good. I was a little surprised. I'm just kind of smoothing this along, making sure everything is covered. Might be an air bubble right there. Nope, not an air bubble. But I didn't get that arm covered. There. Now I like it. Okay, now let's see. Nope. I guess that's not an air bubble. You see any, let me know. Oops. Yeah, I kind of pick it up, I move it. I'm tilting my head to all different angles and moving this at all different angles so I can see if there's air bubbles in it. I don't see one or any, so I am going to put this one right over here, off camera, making sure I'm cleaning this off. It's a hot mess. I mean, frankly, I just take my fingernail and I go like that. I know. You're probably appalled. There. I just scrape it with my fingernail. There. All right, let's do one more set. Now I do the exact same thing with the ones that have multiple pieces. So just so you know, it's the exact same way. I just go around the multiple little holes. Like this one goes with this one. So there's a hole here, and a hole here. So I just had to be mindful of that. Now if the hole gets filled in, you can poke it with this. Or your scissors or whatever. So you can tell that I'm wiping these off before every sort of application of that dimensional stuff, because I want to make sure there's no dust or any of that type of thing here. All right, and this will be our last set. So let's give this a little bit of a gentle twirl. Wipe off that little bit on the edge there. There's a lot of waste. I mean, it bothers me that there's as much waste as there is. But I'd rather it be a little bit of waste and then not having to deal with air bubbles. So just sort of think of it that way. Now, part of the reason why I did ultimately decide to put this on all of these is because it is giving it a little bit more stability. And after closer inspection, it's a little prettier. It's giving it a finish. It's giving it a little bit of something. And it's, I don't know, it's making it look more like a finished piece of jewelry other than just a cut up card game. And I try and be professional in the things that I sell. It looks more professional. It looks more finished. I think that's pretty good. Okay. I'm going to put this over here to dry off camera. And I just slide it off with my fingernail. Okay, let's do this one. Same deal. Tip it upside down. Give it a little bit of a twist. Take all of that off right there. I don't want the cover on when I'm doing that because I really do want all those air bubbles to come out. If the cap was on, yes, I would save some more product, but I'd rather get rid of the air bubbles and have them fully out. That's why I don't have the lid on. I have the lid on in the very beginning before I start any project, but since I'm doing multiples, at this point I'm just leaving the lid off. This is just flowing right out of the bottle. By doing some around that cut hole, the paper punch hole, gives it more stability as well. I am going to squeeze this a little bit now here. Sometimes when you squeeze this out a little bit, you'll see some air bubbles come out. But we've been pretty good. There may be an air bubble right there. I'm not sure. I'll look when I'm done. Sometimes it's just you have to go back and fill in a spot and it might be mistaken as an air bubble. Okay. I know my hand's been getting in the way. So let me get here and look. I like the coverage. I am not seeing any air bubbles. But once again, like I said, as things dry, you sometimes see more air bubbles. So let me bring back this very first set. It is still wet because you can see it's a little milky right here. I want to make sure that I'm moving these to make sure nothing is stuck underneath. And these ones over here, I'm going to come and just, I tap everything with my fingernail and just kind of move those around, move these around, just kind of tap it gently, making sure nothing is actually under it and getting stuck under it. Now this one, in this case, is the playing card. So there's that nice finish to the playing card. It's easier to deal with this finish with that on it than just, let me put these over here, than just a piece of paper. If you don't like the backing of this, glue it to a piece of paper and then cover it on both sides. It's perfectly fine. I hope this has been helpful. Working with any dimensional product, to me, can be really fun, but there's a little bit of finesse to it. And I just wanted to show my tips and techniques and how I do it. This is a short video just on the Mod Podge Dimensional Magic tips. Not a sponsored video. Love it to be, but it is not sponsored. This is just me using it, giving you my tips on how I finish and give a finish to some of my pieces here. I mean, I think it looks so much better. Look at that. I think you can see it. It looks so much better with that finish. Now, there's nothing on the back. I don't, at this point, I don't feel like I need something on the back. If you do, that's fine. Go ahead. You do your thing. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. Love to see what you create. Go to my Instagram and Blue Sky, KrisAnne1234, and also on Facebook, Elemental Energies with KrisAnne. Check out my website, www.elementalenergieswithkrisanne.com. Lots of fun things for sale and for free there. And of course, if you'd like a private psychic reading with me, that's there. And please subscribe to my channel here. I really need to get my numbers up. I would thoroughly appreciate it. Thanks so much for tuning in. Take care. Be free.